Admit you have a problem. Admit you don't understand the people you deal with. Even your spouse or your children, they're mysteries to you. You don't really know what they're thinking. So admit that first. When you admit that, now you're motivated to try and learn. There are little steps you can take. I won't go through all of them. But the first thing is, if you take your wife or your husband, if you say to yourself, I don't really understand them. I think I do, but a lot of the times when you think you understand them, you're just simply projecting onto them your own emotions. Step back and say, today, I'm going to observe her, let's just say from my point of view, in a different way than I normally do. And I'm going to look at her nonverbal communication because I'm a big believer in nonverbals. And today, I'm going to glean one truth about my wife or spouse or partner that I had never noticed before. And I'm going to try and see, perhaps get to the point where I can begin to understand her perspective. So if, for instance, there's an argument or a disagreement, here's another instance where you step back and you go, stop being so self-righteous and maybe try and take the step of understanding her point of view. So these are sort of baby steps that you take in life. You can use this in your office where you think you know your colleagues, but you don't know them, and they might be having thoughts about you that aren't very pleasant, that you don't want to confront. Step back and start observing them. And I have many, many examples in the book about lessons on how you can start observing people, observing their body language, seeing the subtext behind their words, seeing their patterns of behavior. For instance, you'll notice sometimes, we all go through this, that when we see our boss, we get a kind of body language and a nervousness it's unusual. But when we see somebody else, like a friend, suddenly our face lights up and we're much more relaxed and happy. All people are like that. So you want to see how somebody reacts to you when you meet them, when you come up to them, and how they react to other people. And notice that there's a great difference when they see you and suddenly they're very nervous around you or they're very excited. That will tell you a lot about yourself and about them. You're not being observant. I have a chapter on your attitude in life, how you can change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Your attitude towards life will determine what you get. If you're avoidant and hostile towards people, a hostile person will tend to create hostility around him. So how can I alter my attitude? And it's a struggle every single day. I have to be incredibly patient, and I'm not a patient person. You don't try and repress your emotions. You can't write a book. You can't start a business. You can't make a decision about what you want to do without the richness of emotions. The brain is an organic thing. Everything works together. So people who have had that damage where they can't feel the emotion, that the emotions are blocked, and there are brain damage that causes that. It's been shown that they can't make rational decisions because they can't decide, they can't feel what is good or what is bad, what is an opportunity, what is dangerous. So you want your emotions, you need them. You're not trying to repress them. Repressing emotions will lead to other problems. What you want is just that tiny little bit of distance, that ability when you're feeling it, to go back and go, why am I really feeling this? What are the roots of it? That's a very powerful ability that you can use, that you can develop through practice, just like exercise will develop your muscles. Through being able to think before you react, it will slowly become natural to you, but you have to practice it and you have to be aware of that's the source of your problem. The main thing is to be aware of it. Because, we're creatures that definitely don't like anything kind of painful. We want our lives to be pleasurable. We've had painful experiences in our life. Generally, in social situations, I maintain that most pain is psychological and it comes from bad social interactions. Okay, so you don't want pain in your life. Obviously, everyone's going to answer that, right? So you don't want to make bad decisions. You don't want to have your emotions dragging you along and causing all kinds of havoc. So if you understand that that's the problem, you're now motivated to then try and tackle it. So I could give you the best techniques in the world, but it won't matter at all if you don't feel that need for it, that hunger for the ability to have a slight degree of control over your own actions. I try to picture it like my thoughts and my emotions, they're out there. They're like 2 feet away from me. They're not inside my head. They're over there, and I could watch my mind creating this little theater of all these little problems and dramas. And it's a beautiful thing. I catch myself now, because I'm not perfect, I'm very human, and I have the same problems that I'm talking about, but I catch myself maybe 50% of the time now. Wow, you're reacting here. That emotional idiot part of you, that lizard part of you is taking over, and I can step back.
My real question is around conditioning. How do we recognize it, and how do we recondition ourselves?
Well, the process is always sort of the same. I'm going to sound kind of monotonous in it, but it comes down to awareness, which is the key to all of the things that I talked about in the laws of human nature.
So let's assume then that we go, okay, cool. I'm aware of the fact that this is happening. Now, how do I take control of that process? Is it be careful about the books you read, be careful about the TV shows you watch, or is there something beyond that?
Awareness will spark everything. It means, all right, now instead of reacting, I'm going to think and I'm going to study, okay? And it's actually, we humans, we want things to be fun and pleasurable. But trust me, the process of analyzing things instead of reacting is one of the most fun, pleasurable mental exercises you can ever go through. Because now, whenever I see a television show, whenever I see an outraged talking head on television or whatever, I'm going, I'm studying their body language. I'm going, what are the nonverbals they're communicating? Where are their ideas coming from? Is this something real? And stepping back and analyzing it is incredibly exciting, and it's more entertaining than just getting all emotionally involved in it. So if you know that you're conditioned, if you know that, for instance, I can't remember who it was that wrote an article recently about how social media and media in general is designed to hit those anger buttons, right? That's how they've been navigating these whole 4 years of Trump. And it's why their ratings have been through the roof. So you know that that's what they're doing. You know that that's what's happening. Now it's exciting to actually see how they're doing it. Wow, I pressed on that button that Zuckerberg wants me to press on. Not Zuckerberg, but the technicians there. Okay, why? Why did I do that, Robert? Why am I getting sucked into that,